Here we go. Yo, guys, thank you for coming in. Okay, obviously we just started the recording, so I'm just going to do a little bit of an intro. Today we have got some one belief at a time worksheet to go through. We're going to talk about beliefs, what they are and how they affect us, and basically how our lives are dictated by what we believe. Okay, so as always, to get us going, guys, we need to build some energy. We need to change the state that we are in. Okay, so what we need to do today, we're not going to do the macarena this week. We're going to get nice and warm, guys. Okay, I want to see a little bit of movement. Sean's like, fuck, I got some food in my mouth. But we're going to get going, guys, okay? Because when we want to learn, we got to change the physical state we are in to learn that information. If you sit here and watch me and do nothing, in a month's time, you'll retain 10% of that information. If we sit here and make notes, in a month's time, you will retain 50% of that information. If we emotionally get involved and shout answers and be part of the seminar and get active and get that heart rate going, okay, we will most likely learn up to 80%, okay? You'll retain that information. Just a quick sort of example on that, okay? Does everyone here remember where they were when Princess Diana died?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone was. That's an emotional state right there. You remember that information. Someone that you might have met her, but someone who's not really met, but that emotional state, that emotional feeling. Do you remember when 9/11 happened? Do you remember where you were?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like 10, but I still remember it. You know, same with Princess Diana. I remember like just the news always had Princess Diana. I didn't really know who she was because I was about 5 or 6. So that's what we need to do. We need to get to an emotional state. So first things first, guys, okay? Everyone stand up and give me 10 squats for me, okay? Let's get going. Let's get working.
1,
Let's see, nice,
2,
lovely
3,
squats.
4,
That's it.
5,
Good.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good, good. Right then, guys. So then, I want an interactive today, okay? If we're not interactive, we'll be getting up and squatting. But that's not a problem because we all like squats because we love the gym. So, guys, hit me up. What are beliefs? What are beliefs to you?
Something you live by, isn't it? It's by your life that you've, you know, it's a way of life, isn't it?
Something you live by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. There's no wrong answers because a belief is different to everyone. But I want some examples from everyone, guys.
It's how your mind thinks that things work. That's, you know, like I believe that if I go for a walk today, I'll burn calories.
Yeah,
Just stuff like that.
how your mind works. So, like, maybe your belief around things.
Yeah. So
Anyone religious?
No.
no.
Would you say that people who are religious have a belief?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
What would that belief be to those people?
Bloody stupid.
Each to our own. Each to our own. What would those beliefs be to those people? If that, you know, what would that mean to that person?
They live by rules.
Some-
Well, kind of rules that are given from, in my
From
eyes,
their
a
beliefs.
a fictional, like,
Yeah,
person.
they believe something because of this. They follow a set of rules.
yeah.
What about? I'm making note of these, so I'm just writing them down. There's no right or wrong answer. Do you think beliefs could be negative, positive?
Yeah.
Both.
Positive, I think.
More positive?
Yeah, I would say positive. Yeah, so
I think it depends on the person.
Dependent on the person. Do you want to elaborate on that? Would you say maybe like
You-
what that person's experiencing, what that person's sort of seen?
So
Been
like,
through?
if you take like a god then, so like something bad is happening to somebody all the time and they're like, oh my God, what is God doing to me? And then they could be exactly the same person that believes exactly the same God that's having like a good run of luck. and they could be like, oh, God is amazing and God is doing this for me. So it's all about your mindset and how you see things happening.
The mindset to see things happening. Did you notice the difference in language that you used to describe those two people?
No.
No, okay, cool. Cool. So we got something that you live by, maybe how your mind works, your experiences and your feelings, what you've learned, then would dictate what your beliefs are. You then would lead by a set of rules to follow your beliefs. Thinking maybe positive, there's maybe negative sometimes with beliefs, but maybe depending on the person and depending on the language that we would use. Anything else?
It's a firm thought. I'm reading this now because I'm sad. It's a firm thought into something that you believe to be true.
Firm
what they say.
thought that you believe to be true.
And that's why they normally say it's to do with religion. But as I say, you can use it for anything you want, really.
So they tend to say religion because religion, there's no infinite truth for or against. You could not infinitely say there is or there isn't a God. No one knows, could they? That's the whole thing of it. It's religion, it's a belief.
Yeah.
So a firm thought that you believe to be true. Okay, cool. Okay. So beliefs can and dictate basically what our lives are doing. Do you say your beliefs are dictating what you're doing in your life right now, whether you're conscious to your beliefs or not? Oh, got a
Yeah.
head fuck already.
Yeah, I know.
Let me put it in another way. If you were religious, do you think you would go around murdering people?
No.
No.
Yes.
No. There's two answers there. Two answers. Extreme terrorists are religious and they feel like they need to kill people.
Yeah.
But then other religious people, like, no, actually, I live by a set of rules that God says that we shouldn't harm others. We should love thy neighbor, you know? So two different beliefs that can have an effect on us, okay? Now, if we were to talk about beliefs in our lifetime, okay, can anyone give me an example of any beliefs that they've got? For example, I believe if I go for a walk, I will burn calories. I believe if I go to the gym, I will get in shape. I believe that I can never lose weight.
No, but those are negative thoughts. If you believe that you're not going to lose weight.
But you can have negative beliefs, couldn't you? And
Nice.
these negative beliefs are our recurring thoughts, guys. Okay. So imagine our recurring thoughts. Now, this is what's going to bring us back to what we're going to be studying today, okay? I just wanted to show you that we have positive thoughts, negative thoughts, positive beliefs, negative beliefs. And when we believe something in our fiber, whether or not we admit it, when we believe something, within ourselves, our lives will follow that, okay? So that's why we need to have a look at these reoccurring thoughts. Lynette, I don't know if you can see the one belief at a time worksheet I put in. It's in the chat, it is. Put it there. So we're going to have a look at this one belief at a time sheet, okay? Because I want us all to fill it out together. Now, have a think. Have you had any thoughts that pop into your head continuously? Something that a reoccurring thought, be it negative, be it positive, whatever it is, normally they tend to be negative, okay? But have you got a reoccurring thought that maybe doesn't serve you and is a bit of a negative thing, okay? I want you to get a pen and paper and I want you to write that belief on that pen and paper.
Okay.
It's going to be quite a hard one. Yeah, pen and paper. We can wait. There's no rush.
I need to put it on so I can go in there. And the plug as well, please.
Lovely. Everyone got a pen and paper? So I want you to write that belief down, whatever it might be. Okay, I want you to write that down for me. That negative, that unserving thought. Cool. Right, now with that negative thought, okay, is anyone willing to show a bit of vulnerability and run this through with me?
I will.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, Sam. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Okay, so we're going to do it with you, Sam. We're going to go through this together now, okay? And
Yeah.
everyone else, you can follow through with your own examples. If you want help, we can go through yours as well, okay? So, first thing is first, with your belief. What was your belief, Sam?
My belief, this is part of my eating disorder, is that eating something naughty once makes me pile on a load of weight.
Cool. Okay, okay. Brilliant. So we got a belief there. There's something that you want to work on. And if we, so no, first things first, okay? First question. Is it true? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next question. Let's say you said yes, guys, okay? When I think of something, my first argument is like, yes, it is true, because I'm going to argue it, and it is. But that was really good, Sam. It was really good. So if we would argue that it is true, okay, next question would be, can you absolutely know that it's not true? So for example, Sam, what we could do with yours is say, what naughty treat would you want? Off the top of my head, I think like a Terry's chocolate orange is like 1,000 calories, okay?
Well, say a bag of Maltesers, or it's like I had a bacon sandwich the other day, and I know it's not bad, but in my head it's bad.
Yeah. So then what you need to do is you get, right, okay, reoccurring thought, right, is it true or not? If your head's yes, you need to scientifically prove, I can see you grinning there, Penny. Well, we're working on yours as well, okay? Because sometimes you can really argue this one to be true, okay? Do you want to share yours, Penny? You can say no.
Yeah, my weight never seems to drop.
Okay, okay, okay. Your weight never seems to drop.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
I
that
can't get past-
absolutely true or not?
Well, it has been for about a year, yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, let's have a look. Can you absolutely know that your weight cannot drop? If
Well,
we were to
no.
look at it scientifically now, what
Yeah,
happens
okay.
to someone who gets starved?
Yeah, their weight will drop.
So we know scientifically speaking that statement isn't actually true.
Yeah.
But it's another reoccurring thought, isn't it? My weight never seems to drop. There's other things going in that one there, Penny, that I would probably look at as well.
Yeah,
For
okay.
example, I'd probably look at what is weight. So again, we're trying to break this up. So let's say, for example, you guys, how do you react when you think of this thought?
Guilt,
How does your body react? How does your mental react? How does your physical react?
guilt, and then I've got to work harder.
So you feel like a bit of a guilt. You feel, what happens when you feel guilt? Do you have like a sort of that sick feeling in your stomach?
Yeah. And then I've got to go and exercise.
And what happens when, so what happens, what emotions? So your emotions, you say you feel guilt. And what images of the past and the future do you believe with that thought? So if, for example, with that thought, what do you believe is going to happen in the future?
I believe I'm going to go back to the way I was years ago.
Yeah. And Penny, with yours as well. And you guys, you still following yours, you, Anne and Sean?
No.
No.
You
don't have to share, but are you still doing it at home?
Yeah.
Still.
Well,
I've got a different mindset, sadly, to lots of other people with regards to beliefs.
Okay.
But that's part of the way I'm wired anyway. But that's taken a long time to work out why I'm wired the way I am. So it's interesting to hear, obviously, Sam's issue and how she's highlighting it and how it affects different people. Because I don't think like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's me, and that's certain things, and that's something I've got, which doesn't I don't know. It's a weird one. It's something you could go into again. I've been diagnosed with ADHD in the last year,
Yeah.
which has resulted in me identify. And I've always laughed at ADHD and thought it's just naughty kids syndrome, but apparently it isn't. There's other things, but it's explained why I behave in certain ways. And with beliefs, it's interesting because I don't have a negative belief with myself with ADHD. Everything I'm completely half pint glass full. Everything is, whatever happens, there's always a positive reason behind why it's happened.
Yeah.
So you always look for the positive.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. And like what I always think when it comes to beliefs is actually when we feel a belief, if it's serving us, then there's no issue. If you feel like it's not serving you, that's where the issue comes in. And the issue that we need to look at is we need to scientifically break it down, okay? There's no other way than we can sort of get our brain to think about it. So I always use this as our brains are hardwired to think things. When someone is completely in a psychosis, do you think that they can sometimes see people?
Yeah.
People who have taken mushrooms and psychedelics and drugs, they generally have visions and see people. Like their brain that is 100% there for them. Your brain is picking up a stimulus and it is seeing it. So when we believe something, our brain can truly believe it. No, 100%. I've seen that. Yeah, well, I don't not believe that you didn't see that. You know, if that makes sense. So people can actually see things. So our brains are very, very good at trying to perceive us. Okay. So the only way that we can overcome that is by using science. Okay. You can prove to yourself, right? For example, when I used to suffer with anxiety and I could feel my heart rate going, and I could feel like I was about to have a heart attack. I know I'm not having a heart attack because right, okay. Do my heart rate. Okay. It was 120, a little bit high, but it's nowhere near heart attack range. So I'm like, okay, thank God. I'm using science. I know a heart attack is right up there. Okay, so I start using the science to break down these limiting beliefs. Okay, so for example, once you have picked on your belief and once you have chosen to show yourself that it isn't 100% true, okay, it's trying to find examples for that. What we need to look at is who we would be without this thought. So do you think it's going to affect us personally? Do you think it's going to help your family? Do you think it's going to help people around you? Who do you think you would be with this thought? So if you didn't have this negative reoccurring thought, do you think you'd be more of a confident person? Do you think you'd be a happier person? Do you think you would have less stress? Do you think that would then have a knock-on effect to other things?
Yes.
You know, it's like the domino effect, isn't it? The first domino that knocks, but has that massive effect towards the end of the line.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, having a lot of recurring thoughts throughout my youth, you know, childhood, once, what's the point? And that sort of negative self-doubt and damage, you know, that there in itself was an issue that I had to sort of work on. I didn't have the confidence. What would I be with someone if I did have the confidence? Well, I'd be someone to be able to help people. I could show, you know, there's other things that could knock on. So, for example, is it absolutely true? No, it's not. Okay, well, what would happen if it wasn't true? Okay. Is everyone following me?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a difficult one, this one, because one, we're trying to change the way that the brain works. Okay, and we're trying to change the brain chemistry. And it kind of ties back into the last couple of times where we spoke about energy. Okay, now, do you think that you could change a belief a lot easier when you're in a higher state of energy? Do you think your outlook on light is different when you're in a sort of higher state of energy?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then it all works down to that. So, right, okay, let's say we have this negative reoccurring thought, and we can't get it out of our heads. Do you think we could go for a run? Jump up and down, do the Macarena?
Yeah. Get your mind off it, innit?
Get your mind off it and then come back to it and be like, okay, I'm in a better state of mind now.
Yeah.
So what I do, whenever I feel these reoccurring thoughts, okay, first of all, I don't like labeling things, but I want you to make a label of that reoccurring thought. Okay? So for example, when you have that reoccurring thought that you want to, if you eat bad food, you're going to put on weight, label that, whatever you want to call that, okay? And then when it pops up, you can literally say in your brain, thank you
Bollocks.
for reminding me of that. Okay, I know that's not useful. I've already proven to myself that it's not true. Thank you for reminding me of that. I think I'm going to choose. I'm going to see that the car has arrived, but rather than ride with that thought, okay, I'm going to just let that sort of pull alongside and I'm going to let that do itself, okay? I'm going to do me. And you can go through this process. Reoccurring thought, oh, I can't eat that. Okay, I'm going to feel guilty afterwards if I eat that. I feel like I'm going to put weight on if I eat that. Actually, thank you so much for coming up to me. Thank you for reminding me, brain. But actually, I've already proven to myself that this statement isn't true. Okay? If you keep popping into your head, right, okay, change your physical state. Okay? Trick your brain. Change that physical state again and push yourself. Okay? And then again, ask yourself who would be without this thought. So this is a couple of questions you can ask yourself, okay? Because you can always serve yourself better if you ask yourself right questions. You can never just go, I'm going to be happy from a sad state. You can never go, I'm going to be excited when you're feeling anxious. You can't just change what you were doing, okay? And to prove what we can do, going back to what Penny was saying, about the language, what a person would say. So the person who's, you know, in Penny's example, the person that's having a really bad string of luck, it's like, oh, why is God doing this to me? Why is God doing this to me? It's not fair. Why is he doing this to me? And then the person who has a string of good luck, God's doing this for me. God's doing this for me. Okay. Now, I know you can have a string of bad luck, but like you said, Sean, you can always have a real positive look on things. So you can have a real string of bad luck and be like, maybe God's leveling me up. God's doing this for me to make me better. You know, and I'm not personally religious, but I love the idea around religion and beliefs. Like, wouldn't it be a really, 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 really lovely belief to have that, you know, there is a God, there is a heaven, because once you die, that belief's going to be a really nice, warm feeling, knowing that you're going to go somewhere special. Like, other people, without a doubt, don't believe that. So we can truly live our lives around our beliefs. So the language that you use all the time, again, will dictate. It's linked with our energy levels. It's dictated with our beliefs. It's dictated with everything, okay? It's all linked together, okay? If your energy is high, you're more likely to use positive language, okay? Which will then obviously positively affect your beliefs. Or you can have negative language, which will negatively affect your beliefs, okay? Which will then drive your outcomes. So like we already said, we live by a set of rules, don't we, that are formed from our beliefs. So if we constantly say something in our head, we then live by a set of rules that would do that. So for example, if you really do truly believe that every time that you eat something bad that you're going to put on weight, do you think your body could put on weight? Now, for example, you guys probably wouldn't understand about what stress does to the body. But when you're stressful, your body puts on water weight. Okay? So when you have a state of stress, for example, if you were to go to like the witch doctors in the islanders, you know, and the witch doctor from one tribe would put a curse on another tribe, okay? Now, when some people in the tribe truly believe that the witch doctors put them a curse on their heart's going to stop, you'll actually find people will get ill and their heart would stop. Okay, like studies showing this. It's the same when the doctor, like a lot of old people, you heard this from a really old person, like your nan, your granddad, something, and say, I'm ready to die now. And it's not long till afterwards they just stop, you know, they stop living, they're ready. They told themselves, up here, then this follows, next thing else follows. How's this all going, guys? I'm trying to throw a lot of examples at you to understand that actually we can look at beliefs in two different directions. Sean was really good there saying that actually he looks at positive half full thing. Okay, that's really beneficial for us because when we have positive beliefs, things do follow with that. There's a book called Think and Grow Rich, okay, by Napoleon Hill. It was written about 125 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. And he basically studied like Henry Ford, Tesla, Thomas Edison, they like all these big people that were really, really successful. He looked at them and he's like, what was happening? Now, these people would be successful because they would think of something in their mind, believe it with such certainty, they would then go and achieve it. Now, the Napoleon Hill, he wrote the book. His son, okay, was born deaf. Okay, in a time where, you know, deafness was like, right, okay, he's deaf. They can't hear anything. Now, his son was told that he could achieve anything throughout his life. He could achieve anything. He really wanted to hear. Now, you would say that he would defy the odds to hear if you're deaf. But actually, his son was probably one of the first people that came about with the idea of hearing aids. And he was the one that started to develop it because he realized that vibrations could be heard through the bone. So what he did is we invented a device that would allow him to then start hearing. He went from literally, you can't hear, you'll be deaf for the rest of your life, to design something that allowed him to hear. When the person said, I'm going to get on a plane, I'm going to fly at first, people were like, hold on, mate. Like, no, you're not. No planes. Remember the first plane that took off? People would have argued against that. People are you going to the moon? No, you're not going to go to the moon. Like Elon Musk is talking about putting people on Mars in the next 4 to 6 years. Now, if we go back 100 years ago and said that that would happen, there would be no belief whatsoever. So if you believe that you cannot do something, you can pretty much guarantee that you cannot do it. Henry Ford once said, whether you can or you can't, whatever you believe will be true. Like if you say something so surely that you can achieve something, then you will achieve it. Your brain's really clever at coming up with ideas with how to achieve those things. How are we doing, guys? I feel like our energy's starting to drop a bit.
Positive thinking.
Positive thinking, yeah. But also positive thinking. Someone used this example with me before, like with positive thinking. It's like, positive thinking is like going out into the garden going, there is no weeds, there is no weeds, there is no weeds. Sometimes no matter what positive thinking you can do, you still got to get out and start weeding the garden. You got to get at it. Okay. So positive thinking is great, but it's actionable steps around that positive thinking. Okay. You have a negative belief. What can we do? We recognize it. We can label it. We can say, thank you for turning up. Okay. What would we be without that limiting belief? Okay. How does this all sound, guys?
Yeah, good.
Chewed your ear off for about half an hour today, okay? It's one that is kind of like, I've been working on it myself as well, like looking at things that I have in my life and, you know, where I want to achieve things. And I look at this, you know, I've spoken before about your family, your focus, your fitness, your fun, your finances. These are all different areas of my life. And I'm trying to look at what limiting beliefs I may have around these areas, okay? So, for example, work, limiting belief, like, you know, I never thought I could do a retreat up until this year. I've always been like, oh, I can't do a retreat. I can't do a retreat. But this year I was like, well, why can't you do it? Oh, well, you haven't got any plans. I was like, well, go find an architect. Right. Like, simple, isn't it? Like, my head just stopped me. There's a mental block. Same with online training. Online training with the gym, like it was something that we never really wanted to do or approach. But then like lockdown forced us to look at online training. So it's kind of like, okay, well, my belief to begin with is that I can't do the online training, but like my belief now is that I can do online training. And now we're doing online training, you know? So it's amazing what your beliefs can lead you to, okay? And when you think about something all the time, you tend to see it more often. Now, who's bought a new car before?
Yes.
And then when you're driving around, all you can see is the same car everywhere. There's something called your articulated rotatory system. I think it's that. And it basically is your body. When you see something, so for example, if I were to take you for a walk around the forest by me, and I said to you, guys, watch out, there is a tiger in this forest. I promise you there's a tiger in this forest, okay? And you believe me, you'd be on the lookout for tigers all the time. You see a cat, it's a tiger. Your brain's looking for this danger, this response, because it's something that I've brought to your attention. So when you have things brought to your attention all the time, maybe a negative reoccurring thought, do you think you're more likely to see more negative recurring thoughts with it? So, for example, if your glass is half empty, well, you're only going to see half empty opportunities. But if the glass is always half full, you're always going to see half full opportunities, you know? Does that make sense? Like you might have bought a t-shirt one day and the next thing you see loads of people wearing that t-shirt. You see a car, you play the yellow car game. You know, the one where you punch each other. And all of a sudden there's loads of yellow cars and you're hitting each other all the time. I just play it with my brothers, I still do. So this is a really interesting one, how your brain can dictate what you do and what you see. Okay? Everyone following me?
Yeah.
Is that helpful, guys?
Yeah.
You can say no.
No, it is.
No, good. Cool. Well, that one there, guys, is a little bit of couple of questions to ask for, okay? But it's kind of like a full circle that everything that we do that does this, okay? Negative reoccurring thoughts are a lot more prevalent when we don't look after the health of the body, when we don't exercise right. You guys, when you exercise, you feel better, you have less negative reoccurring thoughts?
Yes.
Sean obviously doesn't have any. It's not a bad thing. It's not bad. To have the belief that you don't have any negative reoccurring thoughts is probably the best belief you could have, because you won't ever have any. Like,
No.
you know, it's awesome. And then you've backed it up with, you know, what someone said about sound. Like I've always said to someone, like ADHD is like your brain's like a Ferrari. It runs a lot fucking faster than everyone else. Like Ferraris are cool, man. Like, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a couple of mentors and people that I've read books on, and they had ADHD and they would explain it in a different way.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm also a zoologist as well. I got a zoology degree. So when you're talking about science, everything I do is based on science as well.
Yeah.
So when you come to belief and religious and all that, I don't believe any of that. So I always go off science because, and it's.
Yeah, but isn't your belief around science then?
No, it's just something that it's because I've studied it.
What I mean, like, people
I go off
believe
facts.
religion, but people believe science.
Yeah, I don't believe. I understand science. That's what I'll say then.
But you don't believe in science anymore.
I don't believe science. I understand science, and the reason I say that is because, and this comes down to belief as well. Then science.
You believe that gravity holds us to the floor.
Well, it's been proven. However, the thing with science is science can be dictated by the individuals who are looking for certain things. So every fact you find in science can be correct, but it's only possible because other people possibly haven't looked at it from the other side yet.
Another thing as well, let's have a look at science. Do you know what the best form of drug that they've ever scientifically proven to cure things is the placebo?
Yeah.
60% effective, the placebo. 60%. You give someone a placebo and they heal their cells because in their head they believe that they're having this drug. It's literally a placebo. It's nothing, but because they believe they're having it, their body starts to heal. It's the same like science. Like whatever you do in your life, like you believe that it's safe to wear a seatbelt. Like, you put your seatbelt on in the car. If you didn't believe it was safe to wear a seatbelt, and you like every time you put that on, you thought someone was going to slap you in the face, you probably wouldn't put it on. Like obviously, everyone believes that. People believe smoking to be bad for them now, don't they? And again, there was a time where they did, but when people believe things, you'll find that they will live by a sort of set of rules then. And like if science is something that you use to back it up, is where you have to first of all believe the science. Now some people won't, you know, like flat Earth, for example, and whatever your views on it. There's people that believe that the Earth is flat, and there's people that don't believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
You know, with their wholeheartedness. There's people that believe in God, and there's people that don't believe in God. And that just makes it what wires us differently is our experiences and what have you. But all the beliefs come down from one place. And we will then live our lives leading those beliefs then, guys. Because you're like, do you believe that everyone's like, for example, when it comes to like police work and that, do you think everyone's no, there's no bad guys out there? I believe everyone's good. That is wishful thinking, isn't it? No, it's good. Really good, guys. No, I'm super happy you come along today, guys. Just if you get the reoccurring thoughts, okay, recognize them. Thank your brain for bringing them up, okay? And then what you can do is use the science to break those thoughts down, okay? Or if they're a reoccurring positive thought, use the science to build them up, okay? You can use them in a positive way and a negative way, okay? And if you truly believe something, and I say this to Lindsay all the time, if you really, really, really believe it'll happen, okay? I used to tell people I was going to retire before I was 30. People laughed at me all the time. Like, I have officially retired and I've come out of retirement because it was not good for me. But I retired at like the age of 27, 28 when we moved here a couple of years ago. People were like, it's not possible. I was like, well, it is possible because I believe it. I believe it. And I told everyone that it would happen. I told everyone that I would win the World Championships this year. And I believe it was such fiber. I honestly can't see how I can't not win the World Championships in Las Vegas. And I'll prove to that. We got to wait a little bit of time for that, guys, because it's in August. But I promise you I'll win that. Same. I believe these things to be true, guys. And when you believe something, it happens. And if it doesn't happen, then you don't truly believe it. It seems really weird and sort of airy-fairy to say, but it is. If you want a book to read up on this sort of thing, guys, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You do an audio book, it's about 7 or 8 hours long. It's definitely worth a listen. Which is good. Cool, guys. Thank you so much, sir. Any questions?
Only thing I'd say is if you have got limiting beliefs, they're like a couple of lines. The only limiting belief is belief in yourself. That's the big one. What I always used to do is I put some sayings up in my office.
Yeah.
A couple of motivational ones, but not because of negative, but just if you're looking around for something and your eyes will always wander, if you're in your house, if you're in your office, whatever, and just look around and see some sayings.
Yeah.
My favorite one is just do your job.
Yeah.
It's just do your job. Or I can control my emotions and what I bring to the table. I can control that. Nobody else can control it. I can control it. I'm in control. I'm in charge.
And then with that belief that you're in charge, that's where your power comes.
Yeah.
Like, how powerless do you guys feel during this lockdown because gyms are shut? Wow. Yeah, okay. The gyms are shut and I could just sit there and feel powerless to the fact that I can't do anything. Or I could do my home workouts. I could do my exercise. You can take that power back by continuing on. It's nice, Sean. Nice. It's good. Right, guys. I hope everyone has a lovely sunny day because it is sunny. Make sure you get outside and get some vitamin D into you because that is one of the best things for your body, okay, and your immune system. So vitamin D, okay, get it in you and enjoy the time. It won't be long before we're open back up, guys, okay? A couple months, April 12th, I think we were saying in the UK. Hopefully it'll be a little bit before that. I think we'd be able to do some outside training though, so keep your eyes peeled. I don't know what the rules are. I think you still can't travel from Matt.
No, you can't travel to exercise.
Not at the moment, but
No.
they're looking. You've got 3 weeks for the next review from the Welsh board. They're looking bank holiday weekend. They probably still won't open up anything because they're afraid for Easter holidays.
Yeah.
So you may get the outside exercising and traveling coinciding beginning of April.
Yeah. Ah, cool. Well, hopefully we will after Easter then.
Yeah.
We'll be good. It'll be good. Well, I hope everyone has a lovely day.